And it's so interesting. I had two students come up to me after class, and these are two of my most anxious students. I can already see one of them straight up told me I'm anxious. I said, I can feel it. Jesus, jumped up on me real hard. But they were saying that they had read the article and got none of that. None of what I said, which I got straight from the article. They weren't able to see that. And one of the students said to me, you know, I just went through it memorizing the words and looking at key terms. I didn't know to think about it in these ways. And you know, I said to them, I said, I realize, and so a little bit of context, one of the students said to me, you know, you got to understand, I have only been taught to memorize. I go to class, I have to memorize terms, and then I have a test. That's been my education all my life. So this is completely new to me. And I don't know if she used the word frustrating, but I definitely think she said like it's a challenge because she's just being required to learn in a way that she's never learned. And I think that's not what's scary. What's scary is that she's being tested on it, right? There are grades attached to it. And I said to her, you know, I know that what I'm doing is different. And as an educator, I'm going to be honest, I have struggled as an educator because a part of me says, if my students, and I'm teaching seniors, this is a 4,000 level class, so I have seniors and juniors. If my seniors and juniors have only been taught memorization, very basic comprehension, but have been, you know, never really asked to apply or analyze or create, this is tough. Should I, A, do what all of their other educators have done so that I'm not, you know, just giving them this sort of anxiety-inducing experience, or do I push them to create, to analyze, and to apply, and as long as they're with me, give them as much support as they can, as they need to help them reach those goals. And I told them I picked B. I said, I cannot in good conscience just ask you to memorize and do comprehension. I just can't in good conscience. I can't. I have to push you to do more. What I can promise you is that I will do everything possible to support you as you're figuring this out for yourself. And, you know, I could see them sort of unclench a little bit because they realized that I was willing to help them. And I told them, if you need help from me, you have got to tell me. I'm going to teach to the best of my ability. And understanding the limitations here, try to fill in as many gaps as I can. But if you don't point them out to me, I just don't see them all the time. And so, you know, I just, if I could change one thing about education, and there are so many things that I would love to change, I would get rid of all standardized tests, and I would get rid of courses that are built solely on memorization and basic rudimentary comprehension. I would encourage our students, our children, to focus on higher levels of thinking. This comes from Bloom's taxonomy: creation, analyzing, application, these higher orders of thought. I would encourage our students and our children to do that. Because man, that's what creates independent thinkers. That's what creates innovators. That's what creates God, genius. Memorization and comprehension, it just makes workers. This is what I said, tell me what I said. That's how you speak to a boss. You know, that's an employee boss dynamic. I say this, you listen, you parrot it back to me, and then do it. That's an employee boss dynamic. I share something with you, and then you deconstruct that, and then you put it back together, or you find the limitations, or you find avenues of growth. That's how entrepreneurs think. That's how creators think. That's how innovators think. And I just don't want to create no employees. I don't want to create a whole bunch of people who work for other people. And if I can do anything in my classes, it is to show my students that if they apply themselves and if they just devote themselves to these skills, that they can do what they want to do. Shoot, I can't. And you know, I will be honest. There are students who hear this and they're like, oh, she's tripping. I like the way I've been taught. It works for me. And they'll drop my class. And to those students, I say, to each his own, know thyself. I would rather you drop my course than stay in it and fight me the whole entire time. But for the most part, my students love the way that I teach because they can tell that they are being challenged and that they are capable of doing what's put in front of them. And the sense of self-esteem and self-worth that's magnified as they watch themselves do these higher order activities, higher order thinking activities that they would have probably never been asked to do, thinking in ways that they've never been asked to think. I mean, I think it's awesome. So, you know, if I could change anything about education, I would get rid of all that nonsensical memorization. I had one student ask me, what do I need to know? Everything. Well, what do I need to like memorize? Everything. You need to know everything and be able to synthesize it. And the fact that you, my love, at 25, a grown person, don't know how to synthesize information is terrifying to me. Like, you people vote. Like, you people make big decisions that affect me and you can't even think for yourself. That should be terrifying. We should all be terrified of that. So yeah, if I could get rid of anything, I would get rid of